The Senate voting 59 to 41 to end the president's emergency declaration at the border, with all 47 Democrats voting yes, along with 12 Republicans. Now, the president responding on Twitter this afternoon, quote, "I look forward to vetoing the just passed Democrat-inspired resolution, which would open borders while increasing crime, drugs, and trafficking in our country. I thank all of the strong Republicans who voted to support border security and our desperately needed wall." Joining us now with the latest from Capitol Hill, Fox News senior Capitol Hill producer Chad Pergram. So, Chad, 12 Republicans, it's a lot of defections, but 59 doesn't come close to the 67 that would be needed to override the president's veto, right?
That's right. And if you look at some of these other roll call votes that they've taken in the Senate the past few weeks, where you've had a number of Republicans breaking away and kind of rebuking the president on how they've dealt with Saudi Arabia after the death of Jamal Khashoggi, dealing with the Yemen resolution yesterday, that's about the right number. That's about the same number that you've had on some of these other resolutions. Some people pointed out they did not get to 60. 60 is just a psychological level here in the Senate because you need 60 votes to end a filibuster. You know, we thought there was going to be one more. Tom Tillis, Republican from North Carolina, who faces a competitive re-election next year in a swing state. Just before the vote, he went to the Senate floor and said he would vote no on this. In other words, he would vote to sustain the national emergency. And he had been one of the first people out of the block several weeks ago saying, I don't think this is right. So he broke off there. Now, here's going to be the key. You talk about the Senate being 8 votes short. What really matters here is the House of Representatives. And they're about 40 votes short there. They need about 285. That would be 2/3 based on the vote a couple of weeks ago. We're expecting the president is going to veto this tomorrow, and we're already hearing from Democratic sources that the vote in the House to attempt the override, which is likely to be unsuccessful, will be on the 26th of March. There was some question earlier in the day, because I tried to pin down the House Speaker Nancy Pelosi as to whether or not they would go through that override vote, because that could be a bad vote for some of her freshman moderate Democrats from battleground districts. That's a problem for them to vote against a veto or to vote to override there. It's just not a good vote. There's a reason why Democrats won the House, but she says they are in fact going to go forward, and that's teed up right now for the 26th of March.
Chad, how do you assess the politics here? Why did Tom Tillis backtrack on his support of this measure? And I mean, I get Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski. They're always kind of looking for safe haven, I guess. But everywhere else, I mean, is the polling showing maybe that voters actually want a secure border, and maybe this is kind of a stupid thing to do on the part of Republicans?
Well, Collins is going to have a competitive re-election again in a swing state, so that, you know, the politics are there with her. They were really working on Tom Tillis, along with some other senators, to get them to align with the president. Keep in mind that the Republican convention in 2020 is going to be in Charlotte, North Carolina, and there was also some whispers out there that maybe there was going to be a primary challenge to him. He would certainly have problems in the general, but we were hearing names like Mark Meadows, who's the chair of the Freedom Caucus, also Mark Walker, who's a Republican congressman from North Carolina, who until very recently chaired the Republican Study Committee, which is a group way bigger than Meadows' group. It was the largest bloc of Republicans in the House of Representatives. Now, that's not completely off the table, any of those scenarios there, but you can imagine that somebody could really have a primary challenge or problems with conservative voters if they had opposed the president, even if they would have a problem on the other side in the general election.
Thank you.